Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Have you ever paused before a meal, looked down at your plate, and wondered, could this really change the course of my life? It might sound like an exaggeration, but the truth is, every single meal you eat is like casting a vote for your future. Health, your energy, and even your independence as you age. For those of us over 60, we've seen food trends come and go. We've lived through decades of shifting advice: low fat, low carb, high protein, eat this, not that, until it can make your head spin. It's tempting to tune it all out, especially when so many messages seem to contradict each other. But what if I told you that the real secret to staying active, mentally sharp, and independent isn't found in a new miracle supplement or the latest diet craze, but is actually right there in your kitchen? It's in the simple, everyday choices you make with your fork and spoon. Let me take you back a few years to a dinner table much like yours. My friend Mr. Evans, who spent his life teaching history and guiding young minds, never thought twice about his meals. Then, one evening, he felt an odd tightness in his chest after dinner. Not painful, but enough to make him pause. The next day, walking his granddaughter to school, he found himself out of breath by the time they reached the playground. He shrugged it off after all. Wasn't this just part of getting older? But his wife convinced him to see a doctor. What he learned was eye-opening. The foods he'd always considered harmless, even comforting, were quietly thickening his blood and making his arteries less flexible. His doctor explained how small choices, from what you put on your plate to how much water you drink, add up over time, sometimes tipping the scales toward health, other times toward risk. Mr. Evans recovered with a few weeks of rest and the right treatment, but what truly changed was his outlook. He started to see every meal as a new chance, a fresh opportunity to care for his body. He learned how adding just a handful of greens, swapping out heavy dressings, and sipping water throughout the day could keep his blood flowing freely. And now, at 74, he's the one racing his grandkids down the sidewalk every morning, stronger than he's felt in years. That's the kind of transformation I want for you and for every senior watching or listening today. In this video, we're going to go way beyond the basics. You'll discover the best foods to keep your blood flowing, your arteries flexible, and your mind sharp everyday habits that truly make a difference, no matter your age. Which foods to avoid and what to eat instead, and real stories from people just like you who have transformed their health. One meal at a time. So, before you pick up your fork at your next meal, let's dig into the real power of food. Knowledge is power. And today, you're about to learn just how much each bite matters, not just for your waistline or your blood sugar, but for your energy, your mood, your memory, and your freedom to live life on your terms. Ready? Let's get started, because your fork is your future, and it's never too late to choose the best path forward. Why blood flow is the river of life for seniors now. Let's pull back the curtain and talk about something most of us don't give much thought to: blood flow. Think of your body as a vast landscape, mountains, valleys, winding roads, and flowing through it all is a network of rivers and streams. These rivers, your arteries and veins, are what keep you alive. They deliver oxygen and nutrients to every single cell, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. As we get older, it's perfectly normal for some things to slow down. But what many people don't realize is that the riverbanks of our blood vessels change too. Over the years, tiny bits of cholesterol, calcium, and sometimes even stress and sugar start to settle on the walls. The once wide, flexible passageways begin to narrow, sometimes so slowly we hardly notice. But just like a river choked by fallen branches and mud, blood flow can start to back up, slow down, or in the worst cases, stop altogether. What does this mean for seniors? Quite a lot, actually. When blood can't flow freely, it becomes harder for your brain, heart, and muscles to get what they need. You might notice small changes first. It's a bit more dizziness when you stand up, getting tired more easily, or feeling a little foggier in your thinking. But left unchecked, this slowdown can turn into something much more serious, like a stroke, a heart attack, or a blood clot in your lungs. Sometimes, it's as simple as a cramp in your calf that won't go away. Other times, it's waking up from sleep, gasping for air. But here's the real silver lining. Most of these risks are not just treatable, they're preventable. And it doesn't take heroic changes or a complete diet. Overhaul to start moving in the right direction. Take Mrs. Garcia, for example. At 71, she'd always considered herself healthy. She walked most days, didn't smoke, and loved spending time in her garden. But after a mild chest pain scared her into visiting her doctor. She learned that her cholesterol was up and her arteries were showing early signs of stiffness. The idea of needing medication was scary, so she sat down with a nutritionist and asked, "What can I do right now, today, to change my future?" Together, they swapped her afternoon crackers and cheese for a bowl of leafy greens. She learned to grill salmon instead of frying chicken, and she made it a habit to walk after dinner, even if just around the block. 6 months later, her doctor high-fived her. The improvement was clear, not just in her numbers, but in how she felt. More energetic, more present, more alive. Here's the main point. The foods you choose at every meal do more than fill your stomach. They actively shape the health of your arteries, the flow of your blood, and your brain's ability to stay sharp. Each forkful is like sending a ripple through those rivers, sometimes clearing the way, sometimes quietly building a dam. And while genetics play a part, remember, our daily habits are often the biggest driver. Choosing an apple over a bag of chips or a piece of grilled fish over a processed meat might seem small in the moment, but over months and years, those choices stack up. They mean better oxygen to your brain, less chance of a clot, and more energy to play with your grandkids, travel, or simply enjoy the everyday pleasures of life. In the next segment, we're going to break down the real foods that have been proven, time and again, to keep those rivers running clear and keep you feeling your best year after year. The top foods for blood flow science, stories, and how-to. Now that we understand why blood flow is the lifeline of our bodies, let's turn our attention to the foods that keep this system humming. You might be wondering, what should I actually eat? How do I put all this advice into practice without becoming overwhelmed or spending hours in the kitchen? Well, the great news is that the foods that help your blood flow freely are simple, familiar, and delicious. Let's start with leafy green vegetables. I know many of us grew up turning our noses up at spinach or kale. But these greens aren't just for rabbits or fitness fanatics. They're a hidden superpower for seniors. Why? Because they're packed with nitrates, vitamin K and K, and antioxidants that help blood vessels relax and open up, keeping your blood pressure in check and your arteries flexible. In fact, a daily serving of leafy greens, think a generous salad, a side of sautéed spinach, or even a handful in your morning smoothie has been shown to lower the risk of stroke by up to 20%. That's not just wishful thinking, it's real. Science, confirmed by doctors like Dr. Marion Holt, reminds us that these humble greens are like nature's medicine. If you need proof, look no further than Mr. Lee, age 70. For years, vegetables were a rare guest at his dinner table. But after a minor health scare, he started adding a spinach salad with walnuts and vinaigrette to his lunch every day. Within a few months, his blood pressure dropped, his energy soared, and, as he likes to joke, his grandkids now fight him for the last bite of salad. Next up, meat fatty fish, such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, or trout. These are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation, keep your blood from getting too sticky, and lower triglycerides. Aim for 2 servings a week, grilled, baked, or even tossed into a salad. Consider Mrs. Nguyen, age 76, who started making simple salmon packets with lemon and dill twice a week. Her cholesterol numbers improved so much, her doctor called it remarkable. But for her, the best result was feeling lighter, clearer, and more alive. Now, let's talk about berries. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, whatever's in season or on sale. These tiny fruits are packed with vitamin C, fiber, and polyphenols, which help strengthen blood vessels and keep them flexible. Try adding a cup to your morning oatmeal, swirling them into yogurt, or blending into a smoothie. Experts agree. Just a cup of berries a day can improve artery function in weeks. It's a sweet, simple way to treat yourself while supporting your heart. And don't forget about nuts and seeds, walnuts, almonds, chia, and flax seeds. Not only are they high in magnesium and plant-based omega-3 south, but they also keep your blood from becoming too sticky, which can lower the risk of clots. Make it a habit to keep a small container of unsalted almonds or walnuts in your bag. Swap them in for chips or cookies, and you'll notice fewer crashes and cravings throughout the day. Just ask Mr. Brown, 68, who replaced his afternoon chips with walnuts and noticed he no longer needed a nap by 3 o'clock. Olive oil is another must-have. Rich in healthy fats and antioxidants called polyphenols, it calms inflammation and protects your arteries. Use it to drizzle over salads, cook your vegetables, or as a simple dip for whole grain bread. Seniors in Mediterranean countries who use olive oil daily have significantly fewer heart attacks and strokes, proof that sometimes the simplest habits have the biggest rewards. Let's not forget the flavor boosters, garlic and onions. These kitchen staples contain allicin, a compound that naturally thins the blood and reduces blood pressure. Try adding minced garlic to soups, stir-fries, or even your salad dressing. It's not just for flavor, it's for your health. And yes, you can even enjoy a little dark chocolate. In moderation, of course. Chocolate with at least 70% cocoa is full of flavonoids that help relax blood vessels, lower blood pressure, and support healthy flow. Just a square or two a day is enough, no need to overdo it. But what a delicious way to look after your health. With all these choices, the best part is how easy it is to mix and match. A spinach salad with walnuts and berries, grilled salmon drizzled with olive oil, and a square of dark chocolate for dessert isn't just a dream meal, it's a daily medicine for your arteries. Delivered by your own hands as we move forward. Keep in mind that every small step counts. You don't need a perfect diet to see results. Just add in one new healthy food this week and see how you feel. Next, let's talk about the foods and habits that quietly work against all your good intentions and how to gently but firmly move past them for good. It's easy to get excited about all the foods that help us feel better, but just as important are the choices that might be quietly working against us. Sometimes it's not about adding new foods, but about understanding which habits we should reconsider. Let's start with processed meats like bacon, ham, sausage, and deli slices. For many, these are the classic flavors of breakfast or a quick lunch. But these foods are loaded with sodium and preservatives that damage arteries and boost your risk for blood clots and high blood pressure. It might feel like a little treat, but over time, those extra salts and additives act like tiny pebbles, clogging the rivers inside your body. Sugary drinks and snacks are another culprit. Sodas, sweet teas, pastries, and candy might give a quick burst of energy, but they spike your blood sugar, raise inflammation, and harm the delicate linings of your vessels. Over time, that means higher risk of blockages and less flexibility in your arteries. Fried foods and those made with trans fats, think donuts, chips, fast food fries are especially hard on seniors. They not only raise bad cholesterol, but make your blood stickier, increasing clot risk. If you grew up in a house where frying was the norm, don't worry, you don't have to give up flavor. Try roasting vegetables or using an air fryer for that crispy taste without the health risks. Alcohol, is another area to consider. While a little wine or beer can be part of a healthy social life, too much can damage the lining of blood vessels and weaken your heart over time. Moderation really is key here. And of course, smoking is the single fastest way to damage arteries and hurt blood flow. If you're still struggling with quitting, know you're not alone. And there's never a bad time to reach out for help or support. Let's not forget real-life stories, because these bring the science to life. Take Mrs. Smith, 79, who enjoyed just a little bacon every morning for decades. After a mild stroke, her doctor showed her how salt and preservatives were slowly driving up her blood pressure year after year. With some encouragement and new recipes, she now enjoys a veggie omelet for breakfast, and her numbers are back in the safe zone. Ultimately, these changes are not about deprivation. They're about swapping out what hurts for what heals. Small step. Each healthy swap adds up over time, clearing the riverbanks and letting your blood flow smoothly. As we keep going, let's dive into how you can bring these choices together to build your own blood-healthy meal plan, delicious, sustainable, and tailored just for you. Building a blood-healthy meal plan from knowledge to daily living. Now that we've explored which foods can either support or sabotage your blood flow, let's bring it all together into daily life. Because, let's be honest, most of us don't want to live by a rigid rulebook or spend hours in the kitchen counting nutrients. We want food to be simple, joyful, and most importantly, sustainable for the long haul. So, how do you turn good intentions into delicious, easy routines that fit your real life? Let's start with breakfast, because how you begin your day can set the tone for everything that follows. Picture yourself at the kitchen table as the sun streams through the window. Maybe you have a favorite mug, a gentle ritual you enjoy. This is the perfect time to introduce blood-friendly choices without stress. Oatmeal, for example, is more than a humble grain. It's a powerhouse of fiber, perfect for keeping cholesterol in check. Top it with a handful of blueberries or sliced strawberries, and you're getting the antioxidants and vitamins that help keep arteries supple. Maybe add a sprinkle of chia seeds or a spoonful of walnuts for extra omega-3 south. It's quick, comforting, and does wonders for your circulation. If you prefer something savory, scrambled eggs with spinach and tomatoes can be a vibrant, heart-healthy option. Eggs offer protein, and adding those leafy greens delivers all the nutrients we mentioned earlier, while tomatoes offer a dash of vitamin C and flavor. Or, if you're someone who loves yogurt, Greek yogurt topped with walnuts and berries becomes both a treat and a smart health move. Moving into lunch, this is your chance to bring color and variety to your plate. Think about building your meals around vegetables and lean proteins. A salmon salad tossed with olive oil vinaigrette and a mix of baby greens is not only delicious, but it packs in those critical omega-3 south, vitamins, and healthy fats. Or try a whole grain toast topped with mashed avocado, tomato, and a sprinkle of seeds, simple, fast, and loaded with potassium, fiber, and healthy fats. If you're more of a soup person, a hearty bowl of vegetable or lentil soup can be filling and supportive for your arteries. What about snacks? Seniors often ask, what should I reach for between meals when I'm peckish? Here's where those nuts and seeds shine. Keep a small bag of unsalted almonds, walnuts, or even pumpkin seeds handy. Not only do these calm hunger, but they also provide a steady flow of minerals and healthy fats to keep your heart and blood vessels happy. If you're craving something sweet, apple slices with a thin layer of peanut or almond butter satisfy without spiking your blood sugar. It's these little choices throughout the day that quietly protect your health. Dinner doesn't need to be complicated or expensive. The goal is balance. Lean protein, plenty of vegetables, and a healthy grain or starch. You might enjoy grilled chicken or tofu with sautéed kale, a scoop of quinoa, and roasted sweet potatoes, each ingredient contributing a unique benefit. Or perhaps you prefer steamed broccoli, drizzled with garlic and olive oil, which brings together two of the best. Foods for vessel health. Remember, herbs and spices are your friend's flavor doesn't have to come from salt. And let's not overlook hydration. Sometimes we confuse hunger or fatigue with thirst, especially as we age. Aim to drink water throughout the day, carry a bottle. Sip between meals and don't wait until you're thirsty. Herbal teas with a slice of lemon or fresh mint are another gentle way to hydrate and add antioxidants. But what about the practicalities? Life gets busy, groceries can feel overwhelming, and sometimes cooking for one or two just doesn't seem worth the effort. That's where a little planning comes in. Try batch cooking your grains, like brown rice or quinoa, at the start of the week. Store them in containers for quick meals. Stock up on frozen berries and greens. They're just as nutritious as fresh and last far longer, so you waste less and save money. Rotate your proteins. Fish twice a week, lean chicken or beans on other days, and don't be afraid to keep it simple sometimes. The most nourishing meals are also the easiest. Now, let's pause for a moment and hear from real people making these changes work in their own lives. Take Mrs. Lopez, for instance, who once felt lost after her husband passed and cooking for herself seemed pointless. She started preparing her favorite vegetable soup once a week, freezing individual servings for later. It became a comforting ritual, and soon her daughter and grandchildren joined her for soup night. This wasn't just about nutrition. It was about connection, comfort, and reclaiming joy in food. Or consider Mr. Chen, who used to rely on takeout most nights. He began experimenting with one new vegetable recipe each week, sometimes just roasting a tray of whatever was in season. Within a few months, he discovered new favorites like roasted Brussels sprouts with garlic, and his energy and mood improved noticeably. So, as you think about your own routine, remember that every small step counts. Every healthy swap, every colorful plate, every glass of water is a vote for your independence and vitality. Don't strive for perfection. Aim for progress and enjoy the journey. The next time you shop, try adding one new blood-friendly food to your cart. The next meal you make, pause and think, is this helping my body, my heart, my future? Over time, these mindful moments add up, shaping not only your health, but the quality and richness of your life. As we move into our next segment, we'll face the real barriers many seniors encounter: cost, time, cooking for one, or simply not knowing where to start. But don't worry, you're not alone, and every challenge has a solution. Let's keep moving forward, step by step, building a future where food is both a pleasure and a path to well-being. Making change happen, real barriers, real solutions, as we travel deeper into this journey toward better health. It's only natural to wonder if eating for blood flow is so important. Why doesn't everyone do it? The truth is, change is never as simple as flipping a switch. It's about more than knowledge. It's about real life with all its surprises, limitations, and ups and downs. For many seniors, the path to healthier eating is lined with practical challenges. But the good news, every challenge comes with creative, realistic solutions. Let's walk through them together, weaving in the wisdom of those who've faced and overcome the same struggles. To start, let's talk about cost. It's no secret that some of the foods we've discussed, berries, nuts, even fish, can feel pricey, especially when living on a fixed income. But healthy eating doesn't have to break the bank. Take the story of Mr. Jackson, a retired postal worker. He was determined to improve his heart health but found himself overwhelmed by grocery store prices. His solution: he started buying in bulk, choosing frozen vegetables and berries instead of fresh, and experimenting with affordable proteins like beans and eggs. By cooking big batches of brown rice and hearty soups on Sundays, he always had healthy meals ready for the week, and he found his expenses actually dropped. Sometimes, A little planning and flexibility can turn what seems like a roadblock into a new routine. And what about those who cook for one? Loneliness at mealtime is a real issue for many older adults. After Mrs. Clark lost her husband, she struggled to find motivation to prepare meals just for herself. The turning point came when she started freezing single-serving portions of her favorite dishes. Soon, leftovers became a comfort, not a chore, and she invited neighbors over for lunch once a week, turning solitary eating into a joyful social event. Whether you batch, cook, and freeze, join a community meal at a local senior center, or swap meals with friends, sharing food can transform the act of eating from something you have to do into something you genuinely look forward to. Now, perhaps your concern is less about money or company and more about physical ability. Maybe your teeth aren't what they used to be, your appetite has shrunk, or digestion has become a little unpredictable. That's where gentle meals come in: soups, stews, and smoothies that are easy to chew, easy to digest, and deeply nourishing. Cooked vegetables become softer and easier on sensitive mouths, while a blended smoothie packed with greens, yogurt, and fruit provides the full spectrum of nutrients in a form anyone can enjoy, even on a day when chewing feels tiring. For inspiration, think of Mrs. Green, who after dental surgery turned to vegetable soups and Greek yogurt parfaits. Not only did she recover quickly, but she discovered new flavors she had never tried before. Of course, another common barrier is the feeling of not knowing how to start. I've eaten the same way for 60 years. How do I change now? You might ask. The answer is little by little. Just as Mr. Williams learned, starting with one new recipe each week can be both fun and manageable. He'd never set foot in a kitchen until his 80s. But after trying out a simple vegetable stir-fry with help from his granddaughter, he was hooked. Now he cooks a new dish every Sunday, sometimes inviting family to join in, sometimes experimenting solo. Many grocery stores and community centers offer free cooking classes, and these can be wonderful places to pick up tips, make friends, and build confidence. Even if you burn a few onions at first, you're moving forward. Then there's the issue of taste. Some worry that healthy eating will mean giving up favorite flavors or favorite foods. But here's the truth. Building a blood-healthy plate is about addition, not deprivation. You don't have to swear off all treats or traditional recipes. Instead, try adding more vegetables, swapping olive oil for butter, using herbs and spices to liven up dishes, or exploring new ways to prepare familiar ingredients. Mr. Brown, for example, was skeptical about giving up his afternoon chips. But when he started keeping a jar of roasted, lightly salted walnuts in the pantry, he found his cravings shifted. He still treats himself to the occasional sweet or salty snack, but now his go-to is both satisfying and good for his heart. Finally, let's address motivation. Change is easier when you know why you're making it and when you celebrate small victories along the way. Maybe you want to keep up with your grandkids, enjoy gardening, or simply feel more energetic throughout the day. Whatever your reason, write it down. Remind yourself often, and notice each positive shift, whether that's steadier energy, better sleep, or a thumbs up from your doctor. As we continue, remember that your journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's progress. Not perfection is what matters most. Every meal is a fresh chance. Every healthy swap is a step forward. And every challenge, when met with creativity and self-compassion, becomes part of your success story. So, as we head into the next segment, we'll talk about the lifestyle habits that amplify your healthy eating, because food is just one piece of the puzzle. Stay with me as we discover how movement, rest, connection, and even a bit of laughter can work hand in hand with your meals to keep your blood and your life flowing strong. Lifestyle habits that supercharge healthy eating. As we journey onward, let's broaden our lens just a little wider. You see, eating well is powerful, but it's not the only piece of the puzzle. To truly nourish your heart, blood, and whole It helps to consider the habits that lift up your meals like sunbeams, making a garden flourish. So, let's talk about the daily choices, big and small, that work hand in hand with healthy eating to keep your blood flowing, your energy high, and your spirit light. Let's start with movement, because there's nothing quite like it to wake up your whole body. Some folks think exercise has to be intense to make a difference, but I promise you, that's not the case. Even gentle movement can make a world of difference for your circulation, mood, and muscle strength. Imagine starting your day with a slow walk around the block, waving to neighbors, or simply stretching your arms to the ceiling and rolling your shoulders back. Every step you take encourages blood to travel through your veins, delivering oxygen and nutrients where they're needed most. Remember Mrs. Patel? She simply began by walking her dog each morning, not racing, not straining, just moving and breathing and letting the rhythm of her footsteps set a gentle pace for the day. Within a few months, her energy soared and even her sleep improved. The beauty of movement is that it can be adapted to any ability chair exercises, light gardening, dancing in your living room, or even gentle yoga with a grandchild by your side. The point is consistency, not perfection. Next, let's take a moment to talk about stress. We all know life brings its fair share of worries, but chronic stress does more than weigh down the mind. It sends ripples through the body, raising blood pressure and clot risk, and making it harder to rest or digest well. The key here isn't to eliminate stress, which isn't possible, but to learn ways to release it. Consider the power of deep, intentional breathing. A few minutes of slow inhales and long, gentle exhales can lower your heart rate and calm the mind. Think of it as opening a window in a stuffy room. Some find solace in prayer, others in meditation, journaling, or simply talking with a trusted friend. Remember, laughter is a potent medicine too. Watching a funny show, sharing a joke with your grandkids, or reminiscing about old memories can dissolve tension and lift your spirits almost instantly. Sleep is another pillar of wellness that we often overlook. Good restorative sleep helps repair your blood vessels, stabilizes mood, and gives you energy for the day ahead. If sleep has been a struggle, try making your bedroom a restful haven, cool, dark, and quiet. Keep a regular bedtime. Limit caffeine in the afternoon and create a relaxing wind-down ritual. Maybe that's reading, listening to soft music, or enjoying a cup of herbal tea. And don't be too hard on yourself if sleep doesn't come easily every night. Just keep returning to your routine, and over time, your body will thank you. Now, as you build these habits, it's important to keep an eye on your health numbers too. Regularly checking your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar can help you stay ahead of problems. If you're on blood thinners or other heart medications, always inform your doctor before making big dietary changes. Your care team is your partner on this path. One more powerful habit is to stay hydrated. Water is essential for every cell, and it helps keep your blood at just the right consistency, neither too thick nor too thin. Aim to sip water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Herbal teas, flavored waters with lemon or cucumber, or even brothy soups can all count toward your daily hydration. But beyond the routines and the numbers, let's talk about the power of connection. Healthy habits stick better when we do them together. Share a meal with a neighbor. Join a walking group at your local community center, or call a friend just to check in. Even if you live alone, you can still be part of a circle of support, whether that's online or in person. Community nourishes the heart in ways no food ever could. And don't forget, celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Did you try a new recipe this week? Walk a little further than usual? Drink more water or sleep a bit better? Give yourself credit. Every positive change adds up, each one a ripple spreading outward, making the whole river of your health stronger and more resilient. So, as we wrap up this segment, I invite you to look at your days with gentle curiosity. What's one small habit you could try this week to support your journey? Remember, it doesn't have to be grand or difficult. The best habits are the ones you enjoy and can repeat day after day, season after season. Now, let's gather all these insights together in our final segment, where we'll talk about bringing it all to the table, one meal, one day, one joyful step at a time. So, as we reach the closing stretch of our conversation, let's pause and take a gentle breath together. We've traveled a long way, haven't we? We started by talking about the power that lives right on your dinner plate, the silent messages your body sends you with every bite, and how even one simple change can echo through the days, the weeks, and the years ahead. Now, let's weave all of these threads into a practical, heartening plan that you can take with you, not just as advice, but as a new rhythm for daily living. Let's remember, healthy living is not about making one perfect meal or having one flawless day. Instead, it's about building a pattern, like a quilt made from everyday choices, each meal, each habit, a new patch sewn with intention and care. And here's the thing, every one of us is starting from a different place. Some of us love to cook and experiment, while others feel a little lost in the kitchen. Some are surrounded by family, others live alone. Some are managing a long list of medicines or health conditions, while others are just beginning to pay closer attention. The beauty is, wherever you're starting from, the next meal is always a chance to begin again. Let's start with breakfast, the quiet cornerstone of your day. Maybe you try a bowl of oatmeal, sprinkled with berries and a handful of walnuts, letting the warmth and color invite you to the table. Maybe you choose an egg, scrambled tossed with spinach and tomatoes, or even a slice of whole grain toast topped with avocado and a squeeze of lemon. The key is to notice how you feel. Does your energy stay steady? Do you feel satisfied, clear-headed, and ready for the day ahead? Then, as the day unfolds, try to weave in small moments of nourishment. Lunch doesn't need to be complicated, perhaps a salad with leafy greens, grilled salmon or beans, drizzled with olive oil and finished with a sprinkle of seeds. Maybe you have a soup simmering on the stove, filling your home with comfort and anticipation. The goal is not just to feed your hunger, but to nourish your whole self. Every ingredient is a building block, a signal to your body that you are investing in your strength and well-being. Snacks can be simple too. Imagine reaching for a handful of almonds, a slice of apple with nut butter, or a small bowl of yogurt with blueberries. These little moments are opportunities to show yourself kindness, reminders that self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity. When dinner arrives, let it be a time to slow down and enjoy. Maybe you share a meal with loved ones. Maybe you eat quietly by yourself, savoring every bite. You might choose grilled chicken or tofu, sautéed greens, roasted sweet potatoes, or a colorful medley of steamed vegetables with garlic and olive oil. It's not about perfection or fancy recipes. It's about creating a plate that makes you feel proud, satisfied, and cared for. And as you plan for the week, think about the ways to make healthy eating easier, not harder. Maybe you batch cook some brown rice or quinoa, chop veggies ahead of time, or stock your freezer with berries and greens. Maybe you share recipe ideas with friends, swap meals, or even cook together when you can. These little strategies don't just lighten the load, they make healthy choices more automatic, less overwhelming, and, yes, more fun. Of course, there will be days when life throws you off course. Maybe you feel tired, maybe you crave old comfort foods, maybe you just don't have the appetite or energy. That's okay. One meal never defines you, and you are always one choice away from getting back on track. Be gentle with yourself. Remember, this journey is about progress, not perfection. And let's not forget the joy of sharing. Maybe you call a friend to join you for lunch, or invite a neighbor over for tea and a healthy snack. Maybe you teach your grandkids to make your favorite vegetable soup, or swap stories with others about what's working for you. Community, whether it's one person or many, makes the healthy path lighter and brighter. As we close, I want you to picture your next meal not as a chore, but as a gift. Each forkful is a step toward more energy, more freedom, and more life. Every choice you make at the table is a chance to honor your story and invest in all the tomorrows yet to come, eh? So as you finish listening, maybe even right now, think about the one small step you'll take next. Will it be a handful of berries at breakfast? A new recipe for dinner? A walk around the block before lunch? Whatever it is, celebrate it. Because you are not just feeding your body, you are fueling your independence, your memories, and your dreams. Thank you for walking this road with me today. Your time and attention are precious, and I am honored to share these moments and these ideas with you. Remember, you are never alone in this journey. There are thousands of others just like you, taking small steps, trying new foods, and learning every day. Together, we are stronger. So let's keep choosing wisely. Let's keep reaching for color and flavor and joy in every meal. Let's keep building the kind of health that lets us dance at weddings, hike with grandkids, and laugh with old friends today, tomorrow, and for many, many years to come. Stay strong, stay curious, and never stop nourishing yourself with food, with love, and with hope. So as we come to the close of our time together, I want to thank you, truly thank you for staying with me on this journey through the world of healthy eating, blood flow, and lifelong independence. Maybe you joined this video out of curiosity, or maybe you've been searching for answers, for hope, or just for some new ideas to help you feel more alive and in control of your health. Whatever brought you here, I hope you now feel empowered and inspired. Before you go, let's take a gentle pause, a breath, a moment of gratitude for the body that's carried you through every season of life. Think of all the meals you've shared, the hands you've held, the laughter you've enjoyed. Every story, every tradition, every little change you've made along the way is part of the legacy you're still writing. And remember, the power to shape your future is right there in your hands, on your plate, in every daily choice you make. You see, it's never just about food. It's about freedom. The freedom to walk outside and feel steady on your feet. The freedom to hug your grandchildren, to tend your garden, to dance at family gatherings, to travel and explore, or simply to rise each morning feeling strong and hopeful. All of that is possible, and it starts with simple, loving decisions. One meal at a time, one habit at a time. Now, I know change isn't always easy. Habits built over decades don't disappear overnight. There may be days when you crave old comfort foods, when you feel too tired to prepare a fresh meal, or when doubt creeps in. There may be days you slip, or days you just want to give up. But let me remind you, every journey worth taking has its stumbles and setbacks. What matters is the courage to begin again, to keep choosing yourself, to keep choosing life. If you're feeling overwhelmed, start small. Maybe today it's just swapping out a sugary snack for a handful of nuts. Maybe tomorrow you try adding greens to your lunch or take a short walk after dinner. Maybe you call a friend and cook a new recipe together, or write down one thing you're grateful for at the end of each day. Celebrate every tiny victory, because each one is a seed for bigger change. And here's something else to hold on to. You're not alone. There are thousands, maybe millions of others right now in kitchens and homes around the world, trying to make the same choices, facing the same hurdles, and hoping for the same joys. Share your journey. Tell a friend about what you learned. Today, ask a neighbor to join you for a meal. Leave a comment below. Your story could be the inspiration someone else needs to take that first step. Maybe you're thinking, Tage, please, don't let that thought win. Every age is the right age to care for yourself. The human body is amazing in its ability to heal, to grow stronger, to bounce back. I've seen people in their 80s and 90s transform their energy. and mobility with just a few weeks of new habits. I've heard from widowers who learned to cook for themselves, from grandmothers who started new exercise routines, from people who thought their best years were behind them, only to discover, with a little help and a lot of heart, that the adventure was just beginning. So what's next? I invite you to choose one thing, just one from everything we talked about today. Maybe it's leafy greens, or berries, or olive oil. Maybe it's walking, or calling your doctor to ask about your blood pressure, or sharing a healthy meal with a loved one. Whatever it is, write it down. Make it real. Commit to it, even just for a week. And when you start to feel a difference, when you notice more energy, steadier legs, a lighter mood, remember to celebrate yourself. You did that. You chose life. As we finish, I want you to remember that this isn't goodbye. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. If you found this video helpful, I hope you'll subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone you care about. The more we support each other, the stronger we all become. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day. Thank you for believing in your own strength and possibility. And thank you for all the love and wisdom you share with your family, your friends, your community, and with the world. Until next time, keep reaching for those little changes that add up to a big, beautiful life. Stay curious. Stay hopeful. Stay connected. Your next meal is a new opportunity. Your next step is a new beginning. And every choice you make is a gift to yourself and to everyone who loves you. Take care, breathe deeply, and keep moving forward with gratitude and joy. I'll see you soon, right here, ready to cheer you on every step of the way.